Welcome back to the Author to Author podcast. I am your host, Pamela R Haynes, author of 2 books, Loving the Brothers and Loving the Sisters. If you are joining me for the first time, I interview self-published authors from around the world. And for the next 10 weeks, we will be discovering new authors who have written books in all genres. We are at season 4 of the podcast already. Why not catch up on all the episodes where all good podcasts are streamed, including Spotify, Amazon Music, and Audible. This episode is dedicated to the late Chantel Hall Reid. I interviewed Chantel in season 1 of the podcast. May she rest in peace. Each podcast episode also goes out every Monday on uk246.com at 8 p.m. on Pamtango Radio, Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon, and East London Radio Mixcloud, The Talk Zone on Sundays from midday, Tuesdays from 9 a.m, and Thursdays from 4 a.m. How was your summer? I had a ball promoting my new books on TV and radio, the highlight being appearing on Barbadian television on a show called Morning Barbados. I also had a soft book launch for my new book, Loving the Sisters, at home on the 3rd of September. And on the 30th of September, I picked up my 3rd award for my work raising awareness of domestic abuse through my books. It was a wonderful ceremony where I got to meet the present Prime Minister of Malaysia, where I presented her with a selection of herbal teas from my sponsor, Dalgety Herbal Teas. If you would like to see photos of this event, visit my Instagram page at Loving the Author. In this episode 0, I have a natter with 2 of my friends, Petra and Carlene. Let's jump into the interview now. See you on the other side. Hi, Carlene, and hi, Petra. How are you? Starting with you, Carlene.
I'm good, thank you.
It's been really good to try and catch up with you both. It's been too long. Carlene, do you remember when we met and how long have we been friends for?
Oh, I can't tell the years. I know it's a long time, but we did meet. We were both on a training course together, and we were doing our certificate in training. And I would say it's over 10 years ago. That's all I'm going to say.
I think it's more than that. We're approaching about 20 years.
20?
Yeah, we met in, I think it was 2005 at Goldsmiths College doing our certificate in training. And if I'm right, that's more than 10 years, right? That's, 2025 will be 20 years.
So maybe between 20, I'm going 15 years.
Yeah, a long time, a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you, Miss Petra, when did we meet?
I would say that we're going on to 10 years because we met when I was working as a hairstylist, as a natural hairstylist in Leytonstone. And you came into the shop wanting to start your locks. So all those beautiful locks that we have, I'm so proud to say that I'm the one who started those. And it was your first time coming into the shop and you sat in my chair, basically. And then we started as clients and hairstylists. And then we went on to being friends. And now we're family, basically. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so absolutely.
It's been a while, probably a good 10, 11 years.
Yeah, and I met you just after I met Carlene. So if I met Carlene in 2005, then I met you in 2006. Yeah. I mean, I know that because I started my natural hair journey in 2006. And I came into the shop in Leytonstone, as you said, and the proprietor, a woman called Rena, started my locks first. And then she handed me over to you. And then you carried on with the magic thereafter. But when I say started my locks, I literally had, I think I had less than an inch of hair that she was just twisting and twisting and twisting. So they look like, whole peppercorns. That's how short my locks were. I loved them. I loved them, that with large earrings, and they looked all dramatic. But that's how far
Yeah.
we're coming from. And I remember going to see my sisters and my mum
Mm,
afterwards to introduce them to the new me. Because
mm-hmm.
after that, after I had them done, I used to hide them under head wraps and so on, so that nobody knew what I was doing,
Oh
what I
yeah.
was going
Yeah.
on with. And I made
Yeah.
sure that I did my big reveal in a public place, so that well, I didn't want to face any lashes or anything like that. And
Yeah.
um and it was a really nice reveal. My mum wanted to know who done them for
Mm,
me, where did I go,
mm,
how
mm.
much did it all cost, and all of that. And then slowly, over a number of years, my sisters and my mum all went natural as well. So today,
Yeah. Mm.
my sisters and I, we all have natural hair, even though I'm the only one with locks. But
Wait for us.
you two are both very, very dear to me, which is why I
Mm.
asked you to take part in this interview today. Now, what you two have in common, and you dragged me into it, is
Oh.
that both of you are carnivalists and you both play mass. I know that Carlene is into her soca music. Hot, 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 She's the home of Carnival, being from Trinidad. But tell me, Carlene, who is your favorite soca artist from the past or from the present?
In past. I'd say there's quite a few, to be fair. I wouldn't say I've got a favourite. Definitely like Bungie and like Marshall. And there are a lot of old Calypsonians as well that I like, because that's what I grew up on, listening to what my mum would been playing. And obviously she took me to Trinidad when I was young, so I was able to play Mass there, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And that took me into, as I got older, I went myself. I haven't been for some years, so I feel slightly out of it now, not knowing what's going on. But I'll listen to them still. Yeah, and I definitely, it's in my blood. It can't be stopped. I'm now trying to pass that on to my son, who's now listening to Kez.
He's got good taste. He's got good taste.
Kez at the moment, yeah.
Favorite song would be Savannah Grass. I just love the introduction and how it builds up
Yes.
and just explodes. It's a fantastic song. So well done to your son. And Miss Petra, who is your favorite soca artist, past or present?
Like Carlene, I don't have a favorite. I don't believe in having favorites of anything when it comes to carnival, when it comes to soca music. It is about what hits the spirit, what speaks to the waistline, what keeps me moving. But I would say that I grew up on Calypso Rose, Mighty Sparrow, Red Plastic Bag. And if we're moving to the present, my favorite, if I had to choose a favorite, not that I'm saying, but if I had to, I would say Patrice Roberts. And when it comes to the male soca artist, I would say Mr. Killer. Mr. Killer has his energy is like high voltage. So it's like you go to a Mr. Killer concert and you're about to have fun, right? So yeah, so for me, these are the people that I would say that really energizes me in a soca fete, in a soca rave. Yeah, and I've had the pleasure of seeing Patrice 3 times in concert. When I was a showgirl back then. So being a showgirl, you'd be able to see all the artists for free, kind of thing. So yeah, I've had the pleasure of seeing her, and that is where I fell in love with her. Mm.
So, Petra, you've done modelling around Carnival. You've taken part. You wear the feathers and the diamonds and the glitz and
Mm.
all of that, which is just you look. Your photos are absolutely amazing on social media. But what does it
Thank you.
feel like to be actually in a group amongst other men and women who are fetting as well? What's that like?
To be honest, it's not something that I could actually put words to. It is a feeling, it's an emotion. It is having that sense of belonging, knowing that when you're on the road, that you're going to have that family who's going to care for you and make sure that you're okay, kind of thing. And hence the reason when it comes to Carnival, I don't do the spectating. It's not for me. Carnival for me is I have to be a participant. I have to be in the sauce of it. I have to be in the groove of things. I have to be in the costume. I have to be the one standing there and be taking the photos and striking the pose. And yes, I much prefer that side of it because, like I said, it's just that family thing is the coming together of the culture in such ways. So yeah, I much prefer that aspect about it. And being outside of the carnival itself, being a showgirl, as in where organizations would hire the band that I was with, and the band would then send its girls out to do particular events. For example, I remember doing an event with HSBC Bank and with Virgin Holidays, and it's having all those outside little opportunities as well. Yeah, that used to make me feel real nice about myself, basically. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, what about you, Carlene? I know you've done t-shirt bands, but have you been in the heels and the feathers and the crowns?
No, I have not dressed up that much. In Trinidad, I did the Kiddies Carnival when I was young, so I was a little bit more dressing up, but I haven't done the whole feathers and the big headband. No, none of that at all. I think I'm a little bit more behind the scenes. So yes, that's what I've done. But yeah, I've enjoyed my time. I think the music brings people together. Everyone enjoys themselves. Everyone's just free. And you just get to express yourself. Nobody cares what you're looking like. You can just be you, and that is just fantastic. And I love that.
Just to add to what Carlene is saying, it's just outside of it being a cultural thing, it's that liberation. It's having to dress up and not have to care who's watching you and who's not watching you, or nobody cares about how plump you are or how skinny you are. Nobody cares about the stretch mark, about anything. You're just accepted for who you are, what you are, how you look. Nobody cares in just those few days of carnival. Nobody cares. You are who you are. I love that part about it as well.
Well, in Barbados, we have seen the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Mia Mottley, walking up, with the local artists. I think she's got a thing for Little Rick, to be honest with you, because she seems to be always been appearing on stage with him. But let me ask the next question then to you first, Petra. If you had a choice of going to Rio Carnival, Trinidad Carnival, Cropover, or Notting Hill, where would you go?
Right. I've done Cropover. I've had that experience already. I started doing Carnival since my secondary school days. And Cropover was the first carnival that I actually did. And I think that's where the whole bacchanalist and the whole carnivalist kind of was born in me. It was Cropover. As for Notting Hill, I am one of the faces that one would expect annually for Notting Hill. I am what you call a veteran. Well, that's how we call it, a veteran. So I haven't done Cropover and Notting Hill. I have to be honest, Rio doesn't quite interest me at this point. But it does not mean that if I get the opportunity for me to do it, that I will not do it, because I believe one has to experience everything in life at least once. So for now, I would say my interest mostly lies in Trinidad. I really want to have that. If I do Trinidad Carnival, it's like everything done. It mash up. It good. I solid. Sorry, that was my solution accent that just came out. I'm solid.
That's okay.
If I do Trinidad Carnival. Yeah, because I've heard so much about it. And take into consideration that so many of the soca artists do come from Trinidad. It's like, yeah, go to the home. Yeah.
And what about you, Carlene? If money was no object, you could take your son with you, then which carnival would you go to?
I'll definitely take him to Trinidad Carnival because I would like him to experience what I've experienced. I've been playing with the idea of taking him to Notting Hill because at this moment in time, money is the object and I can't get to Trinidad. So I might have to take him to Notting Hill. But I think the experience would be a lot better in Trinidad. I think he would enjoy it more than here. You go to Notting Hill and kind of like all in one area. If you go to Trinidad, I know where we can go, and it's a little bit more open. And yeah, he would definitely enjoy it.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, we have to promise each other that at least once we will take a wine together, at least at one of these carnivals at some point when milestone birthdays come up and finances allow.
That's right.
The next question then I have for you is to say thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart for reading Loving the Brothers. But were you surprised about me wanting to write a book in the first place, Carlene?
I wouldn't say I was surprised, because I've known you, we've said now, over 10 years, and I know you'll do anything that you want to do. So I wouldn't say I'm surprised. I didn't know it was one of the things that you wanted to do. So there's that element of surprise. But yeah, I mean, definitely you're inspirational. You've written 2 books, 3 maybe. And but yeah, very, very good that you've done that, and that you've just continued to keep pushing, get them published. Yeah, it's been amazing. Just amazing, actually, just to see your journey. I know it hasn't been easy. So yeah, it's really great.
Oh, thank you, Carlene. Petra, who is your favourite character, and what was it like being a reviewer for the second book, Loving the Sisters?
My favorite character for Loving the Brothers was Charmaine. I fell in love with her straight away. Straight away, I fell in love with Charmaine. I can't quite put into words why, but again, I go back to feelings. I felt emotionally connected to Charmaine, and throughout the entire book, that feeling did not waver. So she remained my favorite character. But I have to say, in being a reviewer for Loving the Sisters, darling, okay, Rose is now my favorite character. I have listen, between those 2 books, I have no loyalty to anybody. Rose is my favorite character. What I would say about Rose is that it took this Loving the Sisters for her to grow on me, because I found that she was quite timid in Loving the Sisters. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Why are you like that? Stand up for yourself. Do something. But then reading Loving the Sisters, I'm like, yes, now that's my kind of woman. A woman with fire in the pit of her stomach, and she's going to take action. It's like she got herself into that position. It's either you sink or swim, as with the saying Sanusha, you sink or swim, and she didn't want to sink. So she did what she had to do to swim for survival. So now I look at Rose like she's my little rebel. I'm like, yes. So yeah. Now Rose is my favorite character.
And what about you, Carlene? Who's your favourite character? And without giving away a spoiler alert, what scene made that person your favourite character?
I think I have to agree with Petra there regarding Charmaine. Charmaine really stood out for me. She's in this situation, but she's going to get herself out of it without saying too much. And when I look at each of the characters, I look at their personalities, and I kind of picture like myself there, those friends I've got around me. Oh, who would that be? Like, that kind of thing. And and I just look at Charmaine, and I just know that she's strong. She's strong-willed. She's a strong sister, and yeah, she will definitely get herself up and out of her situation that she's in.
Was there a particular scene that made Charmaine your favourite character?
I believe it's in the second part where she's looking for a job, and she goes for the job interview, and that's where I'm like, yes, I know what you're doing. You're building up a little something on the side there. To get yourself out. So yes, that's what stood out for me there.
Yeah, and I'm finding that most people have a favourite person that they are rooting for as well, which is wonderful. My next question is Marcus too good to be true?
I'm going to say yes. I think so. I don't know what's going on, but Marcus, yes. I want to say it's true, but deep down I'm like, no, there's something there that's going to come up. Yeah.
For me, I would say when I first read Loving the Brothers, if you did ask me that question, I would say yes. too good to be true. But then in reading Loving the Brothers and now reading Loving the Sisters, I think there's that possibility that he's genuinely a nice person. But then at the same time, I'm aware that nobody is 100% nice. So there's a little evilness somewhere that he's probably trying to control, but eventually might not be able to control it.
Okay, Carlene, please tell the listeners about your businesses.
I am a property investor and financial advisor. So I manage properties on behalf of landlords, giving them a guaranteed rent and giving them a stress-free life by managing everything on their behalf. I'm also a financial advisor. So I offer insurance products such as life insurance, critical income protection, and many others also. And what I like to do with my insurance side of my business is to really educate others, to let them know how important it is, and to let them know the implications, if something was to happen, an unforeseen event was to happen in their life, and how it can benefit them if they've got something there.
That's fantastic. And, with my domestic abuse hat on, are there any products that you think or would recommend for women who are in that situation, perhaps thinking about leaving and exiting the relationship?
Yeah, so there are many insurance products that would be suitable. Definitely life insurance and possibly also income protection there. With income protection, if, for example, you are signed off work for a period of time, then you are given a monthly benefit to help you to pay your bills and to continue. It's not there for you to go on holiday, but it's there for you to use to help you just to get on with your day-to-day activities.
And you also spoke about cover for children as well.
Yes, that's right. So you can get cover for children also. So if a child was to, let's say, for example, fracture, or if they need some hospital care, some of that can also be covered in your insurance product.
Thank you very much for that, Carlene. Carlene, do you still do personal training?
I do personal training. Yes, I still do, which is my first thing that I do. That's my thing that I do at the moment also, which I enjoy. I've enjoyed personal training I should say I've enjoyed fitness for a very long time since I was young, and that has gone into my part of my career now also.
Well, that's fantastic. Carlene, thank you so much for joining me on the Author to Author podcast. But if people wanted to get hold of you, maybe to talk about your PT business or about insurances or even property, to be honest with you, how would they get hold of you?
Yeah, so with my property business, my Facebook and Instagram page is Noir Legacy Properties. With my financial advising, I'm Forbes Legacy Insurance also, which is on Instagram.
Excellent, excellent. I hope the referrals come in, and you and I at some stage need to talk about perhaps sponsoring one of the episodes of the podcast.
Yes, that would be great. Yes, I'd love to do that. Yeah.
Okay, bye for now.
All right, thank you.
So thanks, Carlene. Petra, over to you. Please tell us a bit about yourself and your businesses.
So I am the CEO of Island Empress, and Island Empress, part of that is our merchandise, which is t-shirts, sweatshirts, tote bags, and yes, Pam, you're wearing one of our Island Empress t-shirts. Lovely. Thank you very much. We are currently working on a bag collection, which is due to come out for Christmas. It is something a little bit different from what we've done in the past. So hopefully everybody's going to love that. As well, being a creative person, I decided to start Island Empress, not just for the creative aspect of things, but as well to give island women that opportunity to represent themselves, be it at home, being abroad, in wearing one of our merchandise, basically. And Island Empress for me is bringing women together. The platform is about bringing us Caribbean women, other women from other islands, be it Fiji Island, the Seychelles, the Maldives, be it the Guava Islands. It's just bringing every islanders together, basically. With that, so far we're specifically sticking with women, but that does not mean that we don't acknowledge the island men. We do have our logo that is going to come out soon for the new year, which is the Island Emperor logo that we're going to be revealing and bringing out merchandise for that as well. But so far, with paying attention to the island women, our motto is we salute and we honor you. We salute and honor you. So it is showing that we are there for you no matter what industry that you are in, be it that you're a homemaker, be it that you're a lawyer, be it that you're into arts, whatever it is, that we can come together, or we acknowledge whatever it is that you do. So we salute you, we honor you for just doing that, or just getting up in mornings and just facing whatever it is you got to deal with. So we salute you for that. So yeah, and with that, we do have our website, which is www.islandempress.store, and you can get us on Instagram, Island Empress, and for Facebook, it's Petra Rock. As for the new bag collection that we have coming out, that's going to be on all platforms, including Etsy and Pinterest. So look out for that.
Well, thank you for that. And also thank you for sponsoring the podcast episode. I think it was episode 7 in season 2. And I know that you will be sponsoring an episode in season 4 when that starts in October. So thank you very much for that, Petra. You're a reviewer for Loving the Children. What expectations do you have for that new book?
Loving the Children. When I read Loving the Brothers, that book was exceptionally good for me. And then because it is a trilogy, I expect the next book to be better than the first. So for me, Loving the Sisters has to be better. Because in Loving the Sisters, the characters now have more personality and they're going deeper into their stories. So it has to be more explosive than Loving the Brothers. And then, like I said, because it's a trilogy, then Loving the Children, because it is the last as well, it has to be explosive. It has to be dynamite. It has to satisfy every emotion that the reader has. It has to satisfy the readers in every aspect, basically. And sometimes you read a book and it just makes you go like, damn, I did not see that coming, and that was good. It has to make me feel like that. So yeah, I can see that each book outdoing each other, and it's going to end up on a high. It's going to be like high voltage, basically.
Well, this is the point, isn't it, really? So thank you for your feedback. And I have been getting feedback from people in real time as they've read Loving the Sisters about precisely that, things that they didn't see coming. And what they won't see coming is that there are 3 new characters who tell the stories on behalf of Patty, Charmaine, and Rose. So, for example, I introduce you to a new character. We've seen her in Loving the Brothers and Loving the Sisters, but Beverly Samuels takes more of a front stage, and she tells us Patty's story by telling her own. And then we have Adana. Adana is one of Rose's rivals. We see a lot more from her in Loving the Sisters, and she tells us what's happening with Rose. And then we have Antoinette, our fiery Bayesian woman, who for some reason has reached over and had a really nice friendship with Charmaine, and she tells us Charmaine's story as well. So that's going to be very different. But yes, the pressure is on to try and raise the bar to make that an even more explosive story. And I really don't know where it's going to end. At the moment, as far as I'm concerned, it's a trilogy, but a lot of people have come back to me and, they're calling it a series, so they're they want to know what happens after Loving the Children. Is there, another aspect of loving that we haven't looked at? Because when you look at it, there are other characters who people may be interested to know about, like
Sure.
Mother Morgan, the mother, the matriarch of the
Yes.
family. Has she got a
Yes.
story to tell about, where she is? And, so there could be Loving the Widows that comes up out of that. There are spin-offs that can go anywhere and everywhere. But Petra, for now, I want to thank you for everything. Thank you for your love and support. And thank you for joining me on the Author to Author podcast. Bye now.
Thank you as well. Thank you for having me as a reviewer, and thank you for this interview. Much appreciated. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed my conversation with my friends. It's competition time now. Both women have their own businesses. What are they called? Taking part in the competition couldn't be easier. Contact me on Instagram at Loving the Author with the correct answer for your opportunity to win a signed copy of my book, Loving the Sisters. The competition closes on Friday. Good luck and bye for now.